Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe. Right. I'm not discounting that. I'll actually rather like speak on the state of the Joe Budden thing as well. People today.
Did y'all have any encounters out there or?
No.
Okay.
I did. I saw them plotting on me a little bit on their show. They're like, he's out here right now. What are you going to do, Joe?
No ops outside. They wasn't outside?
No, I don't think they.
He was at his favorite strip club. He wasn't there?
I mean, he can't go every night, right?
Did you? So there's an update though on how you feel about it, or
it's not really an update. It's just kind of like I have one thing that I wish that I want to apologize for, which is that I would just like to acknowledge. And I was watching a clip of myself on Danny from the Stops podcast, and I think he was asking me about like kind of how me and Joe ended up on bad terms, and I listed off a series of different events and stuff, but I feel like there's one thing that I still have a degree of guilt about, which is basically I allowed our platform to be used in what I now consider to be a relatively irresponsible manner when they posted about this Joe Budden stuff. I didn't take the time to really like do an analysis to see if I thought that it was appropriate or not to be posted. And then when he hit me up, I was kind of callous to him in how I responded to him. And when I was kind of like replaying the events in my mind, I do feel bad about that. And I would just like to acknowledge that as much as I still have anger towards, the nickname still stands, Sleepy Joe Budden, I do have, resentment about how things went down when he basically had me on his radio show or whatever. But I do have to acknowledge my own complicity in it, which is basically, I don't like the way that I handled that when that shit was posted about him on the social media. So I would like to apologize to Joe Budden for that, despite the state of affairs. I do look back on that time regretfully, and I wish that I had been a little bit more considerate of I've
always fucked with Joe, and he's always been a huge supporter of battle rap and always said positive shit about me. So I would, if you and him wind up transcending whatever y'all got going on, that'd be dope. But you feel me?
Right. I mean, because when Danny was interviewing me, Danny did say basically do you think that you and Joe are going to ever get back to a better place? My response was basically well, if he's been mad at Vlad for some stupid shit for 15 years, then I don't really know what's going to get us back to a better place. And I was talking more tactically in that clip in terms of what is going to get us to that point. I don't really know what's going to get us to that point, but at least on my end, I do need, in order to be honest with myself, I need to acknowledge that I don't like the way that I handled that. So,
but you and Ak was at each other and then got past it. You feel me, on multiple occasions. So
this is true.
And I don't feel like any bridges have been burned
Joe's
to the point
a little bit more stubborn.
He is stubborn for sure.
It definitely. Ak is more open to discussing shit. Joe's whole persona is a little bit more stubborn. It's probably why you carrying the beef, how you doing it. But at the end of the day, what did you post about him? Because all is fair in war.
It wasn't me, and we weren't at war at this time. At this time, we were supposed to be on good terms. I think this was after I appeared on his show. Oh wait, no, was it? I can't remember.
Well, your appearance on his show and kind of feeling like you got ganged up on and low key lined up to a degree. Is that kind of what set it off? And that was always my interpretation of it. You kind of started looking at him differently from that point.
The big events that I focused on was the fact that when I went on his show, I was perceived as doing very well in that debate. And then after that, I felt Joe was resentful about the fact that I did a little bit of a victory lap, whatever. And then there was the time when he had me on his radio show and basically used it as an opportunity to shit on me when I was already in kind of a bad spot PR wise. So whatever. All I'm saying is about the other thing, the no jumper post. It was a post about, some DV shit in regards to his past relationship, but we're talking about something from 10 years ago. This is not, or probably longer than that. I just wanted to, I'm not trying to wave the white flag fully because our shit relates to other shit aside from that. But I just needed to acknowledge for my own
accountability.
A little bit of accountability.
That's accountability. That's
even if I added a whole
there.
shit of different stipulations to it.
Now, okay, speaking of stipulations, back to the no op talk thing. If other people continue getting at you, is that truce, I want to say. I don't know what you want to call it.
I'm not even thinking of like a truce. I'm just thinking like I will do my mocking privately because I don't really feel the need to make that a segment of my content on a consistent basis. Like I just did Danny from the Stops podcast and basically aired out everything I had to say. And I see what's happening with the dynamic where it's like, it does nothing for us to talk about them at this point, and it's clearly like the thing that gets them views, even though it does kind of seem like they're resisting it from time to time, but it's very, very hard for them to resist because it's really kind of like the main thing that their fans want to hear them talk about. But I personally, I'm hanging up the sign. We are one day of no beefing with Redacted.
Yeah.
No accidents in aisle 5.
I'm not saying that I'm not going to fucking respond if they say some crazy shit, but it seems like they've also basically like ran out of shit to say about me too. So I'm not really sure where it would go from there, but that's just,
I like it.
trying to focus on bigger things, you know, and especially because it's like, even the going back and forth with Joe Budden thing, it's not like it's some big driver of views for us or them, you know? And like, the other thing is a non-existent driver of views for us at this point. Like nobody gives a fuck. I compare it to the Joe Budden / Rory and Mal thing. They've been sending shots. Danny from the Stop has documented every goddamn thing that has taken place between them over the last like 6 months. And I don't think, or longer than that, the last couple of years, none of that shit rises to the point of like really captivating the culture, right? It's basically just like people were obsessed with what was going on early on, and then as time goes by, nobody gives a fuck. We all know that you guys don't like each other. If nothing new is getting brought to the table, then what the fuck is going on, right?